hi everyone, and I'm glad to be here with Anne MacPhee. We're going to talk some about the important issue of ambulance wait times and how it relates to systemic questions in the healthcare system. And Anne, I know that you and I spoke together and with the media downstairs here some 5 months ago about the experience of Kelly's passing last September, so I know that you have spoken publicly about that. I wonder if we could begin by, I could just ask you to recount what your experience was that day.
Okay, I'll go back in time. It was September 29th, 2020. And 6:30 in the morning, not a car on the road, and Kelly went in the bathroom to get a shower, and I was here in the kitchen, and he called me and he was in distress. So we waited 3 phone calls later to the paramedics, and no one arrived inside our door for 40 minutes. And he had died in my arms, and he was gone 12 minutes when they arrived here. So it was, nobody knows how your life is going to change in a day. Everybody depends on the ambulance, and you think they're going to be there when you call, and they're not. So that's where I stand with this, and I want to get the message out to people how important it is. Our health care is in a crisis, and we have to have change, and we have to have change now. And I've written to the Minister of Health, and I've written to the Premier, and I don't even get a reply.
No response at all?
No response, none.
Was that true also when when we spoke publicly about this last March? There's been no reply?
No, I heard they did some apologies on the radio. I heard that, but as far as contacting me personally, like, nobody did. And I don't want anything out of this for myself.
No, of course.
I'm doing this because I don't want it to happen to another soul in this province.
Yeah. Well, you certainly last March raised to the center of public attention the whole issue of ambulance response times, and at that time there was a great deal of discussion by the government and in the legislature, and one of the things that came from that was commitments from the government that improvements were going to be made, and that they were on this and attending to doing the things that were needed to improve ambulance wait times. So what is your sense of since you spoke out publicly last March about if improvements have or have not been made?
There's no improvements made. If anything, it's worse. Like, I follow the code critical myself. I mean, a lot of people may not even know what it is, but there are times, like, there'll be 9 counties in Nova Scotia at one time with 2 or less ambulances. Like, that's not a little village, that's the county. And it may run right from Yarmouth right up the whole South Shore. Like, it's horrible, it's deplorable, and these kids that they're not kids, young men and women that are going out, and they are our paramedics, and they're set up for failure every day because they don't have the staff. They're getting called out so much on their time off, like, because people aren't showing up for work. There's burnout, and it goes through the whole system. Like, you understand that yourself. It's a systemic problem, and the ambulance is only the point of entry.
Yes. Well, I think that's the key point, and certainly you are right about how much it has not been addressed, and we have the evidence of this just here in the last few days, in the midst of this campaign, that in the first 4 days of August there have been 40 code criticals issued, meaning that there have been 40 times when there's been less than 2 ambulance crews available in the whole county.